Los Angeles, this is Inside the Ring, boxing's official show of record. I am your host, Max Kellerman. Joining me to my right, a man who has been a world-class contender in like 11 different divisions, Gabe Rosado. What's going on, Gabe?
Good, man, good.
Good to have you back. To my left, a man who roots for the New York Mets, which tells you everything you need to know about him. Ring Magazine senior insider, Mike Coppinger.
Hey, pretty good weekend for the Mets. Didn't get the sweep, but still won the series, so looking good, Max.
Yankees have played 27 innings this
year. Yeah, but we have Juan Soto, and the Yankees do not.
Let's go, Yanks.
And to Mike's left, from the city of brotherly love, though he's got no love for Ollie Romero, former all-decade NFL running back, Shady McCoy.
I'm happy to be here. It was a great weekend of boxing. I can't wait to debate with you guys.
Right, well, coming up on today's show, not only do we have debates, we have a pair of heavyweights joining us live. Filip Hrgović gets set for his fight against David Allen. It's a big fight. One of boxing's most experienced fighters, guys, and a great talker, Derek Chisora. We're going to talk to him ahead of his showdown with Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. But right now, it is time for our lead hook. The Ring Magazine, number 3 ranked 154-pound fighter in the world, undefeated rising star Xander Zayas is fighting number 5 ranked undefeated rising star and former welterweight champion of the world, Jermaine Boots Ennis, June 27th at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. That fight is made on DAZN pay-per-view. Shady, I imagine you're conflicted about this one.
It is.
On the one hand, you know Xander and all that. On the other hand,
grow up.
My brother out of Philly.
I know.
You talk about it all the time.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I will not have my hard-earned money in this bet. I can't do it. But it's gonna be a good fight. I don't know who wins this. I think I would have to, if I had to pick, I would give Boots the edge. All right, guy that's a little twitchier, a little more athletic, hits hard, switch hitter, and then Xander's really, really good, right? Talk about a guy that has improved from a young guy to where he is now, right? He's not scared, can box with the best, he can move, he can punch, got good defense. So it's going to be a tough fight.
Gabe, on the one hand, Boots has just looked more special athletically to me than Xander throughout their careers, right? Sure. On the other hand, when you said Xander got better, Xander was so precocious. He was such a young fighter when we first saw him. And you don't have your man bones yet as a boxer. Now he's into his 20s. Maybe a different fighter. What do you think of the matchup?
No, absolutely. I think in his last performance in Puerto Rico, he showed that boxing ability. Nice jab, nice movement, good stamina, endurance. And he's a big dude, man. I went for a jog with him in Puerto Rico. I'm like, how big are you, dude? He walks like 190, man. He's a solid big guy. So he's bringing that weight and that size as well into that fight.
Meantime, Mike, we talk about all the time, like, it's one thing to say, Boots is this future superstar. He beat this guy and that guy and that guy. Meantime, when you actually make the fights, and it's like, oh, he's really going to fight that guy? Is he going to win? Where are you with this?
Where I am, Max, is that I want to give a lot of credit to Xander Zayas. You know, Xander Zayas, young guy, he wanted this fight. He called for the fight, and he made it happen quick after the Virgil Ortiz-Boots fight fell apart. So fair play to Xander. He has a lot of confidence in himself, even though he's going to be the underdog. And you're right, Boots hasn't proven anything yet. Not his fault, but he hasn't fought anyone. He looks special. Now we're going to find out, is he special?
Also, the thing about Xander, you're right, you got to give him props, is when you have a built-in fan base. In other words, it's not just that you're of a certain ethnic or national group, but you're undefeated. You've been groomed and promoted as maybe the future star that group's fan base will follow. You're risking a lot because you have a built-in economic engine behind you. And when you're a guy who can be put in a position to pick and choose, and you choose Boots, Gabe, what does that say?
Absolutely. This is a fight he definitely didn't have to take, man. You know, he's a 2-division champion right now. And for him to choose the toughest guy on paper right now, I mean, skill-wise, Boots, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy. He could have went a different route, but he chose the best guy.
By the way, when we talk about the difference between championship and belt, you can win belts in different divisions, right? But Boots was the Ring Magazine welterweight champion of the world. Right now, I don't love the way he got it because Stanionis hadn't fought in a million years. It's his only real significant welterweight win, really, of a guy who's in the top 10, and that guy was really inactive. But he dominated that fight, Mike.
Yes,
dominated.
Yeah, I think Boots looks special in that fight, and there's a reason why there's so much hype around Boots. He's an incredible athlete. He has a great jab. He can box. He's in good fights. He has power. But Xander Zayas at 23 is definitely an improving fighter. And like you said, Gabe, he's an economic engine, right? He could be fighting in Puerto Rico. He just sold out in January. He could fight in New York. He's going to probably have the bigger fan support here. Yeah. And I think this is a great business move for Xander, too. He's going to get a career-high payday. And like you said, 190 he walks around at. He hasn't had much more time at 154.
Yeah. And also I'm thinking about is if you really watch Boots does look special all the time. But there's cases where he gets hit a lot. And you're like, man, for you to be so good and so special, why are you getting hit from some of these lower class fighters? So Xander might have seen that. So you know what? Yeah, I know Boots is special. I know he's really, really good, et cetera. But I see things in this game where I can exploit. And I think when you
tell you something, no, you don't get to say all this right now.
Why not?
Because I have certain information about things we're going to talk about later in this show.
Oh, you're wrong about that.
And you are sitting there, you were talking about Boots like he'd already done it. And we were arguing sometimes because I'm saying, yeah, he might do it, but we actually got to see it.
I agree with that.
And now that it comes time to actually make the fights, and to be honest, junior middleweight is a good and deep division.
Yes, it is.
I don't see any pound-for-pound top 5 guys at the top of that division, maybe not top 10 guys at the top of that division. And now that it's time to fight the top of a division with no top 10 pound-for-pound guys in it, you don't know who's going to win between Boots and those guys.
What I said was, if I had to pick it's a close fight. We're not going to act it's not a close fight. It's a close fight for one. For two is if I had to pick a guy, right, I would pick Boots to win.
Because I was just going to say, when Crawford was fighting in all the divisions, who's going to win? Crawford?
You know what I hate?
Yeah, but there's this guy there, Crawford.
Stop putting Crawford with everybody else. It's Crawford and the guys.
Fair.
The last thing is this.
When the monster has fights, who's going to win?
There you go.
The monster. I'm just saying, I'm picking the most. Who's going to win? Usyk. Who's going to win? Bam. Who's going to win? Boots is supposed to be one of those guys for you.
Yeah.
So how come now it's a hard choice?
Hold on. I think we love Boots because of the talent we see.
Yep.
Everybody else you just named, I see them get into the fire and whip ass.
So he's got it.
You said Bam, you said Usyk, you said Crawford. I see them dudes going to the elite level. Well, my only issue is with this fight, because I do think Boots should win, because I think he's a better fighter. He's more God-gifted. Yeah. But if you watch Boots fight, there's some times where there's guys that are not as good as him on his level or hitting him. And maybe Xander's seen that, so you know what? Let me get him, because if I hit him, it'll be different than other guys.
And I think when guys step in the ring with Boots, they're intimidated with the athleticism.
Yeah, he's a different brother.
Xander, he's not. He's a champion. He's confident. He got that Puerto Rican pride, too.
Okay.
I mean, the fight's in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the fight's in New York. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
might as well be in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, New York. You know how it is.
So it's gonna be a big fan base for Xander, man. So it's gonna be like a hometown kind of fight for him. So, man, it's just a great recipe for it to be a great fight.
Yeah, I mean, look, Max, right? We had Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez fight in New York in January, and Shakur went going away. So I think
sold out, record-breaking crowd, by the way. Yeah.
Right, so this should be what Boots and Xander want. If either of these guys are special, step up to the plate and really show that you're special and win in dominant fashion or exciting fashion.
This is for Shady. when this is why you got to fight the fights. Like, for example, I'm taking the special fighters. And Devin Haney's an excellent fighter, right? But this is the difference, what I mean, at least to my eyeball test, when I see Shakur Stevenson. Who do you think's going to win? Shakur? You can stop right there. The answer is Shakur.
Right.
Who do you think's going to win? Floyd? Stop. Who do you think's going to win? Purnell? Stop. Roy Jones? Stop. Terrence Crawford? You don't have to go on.
Right.
By the way, the monster has been like that.
Okay.
Usyk has been like that, actually. Well, he moved up to heavyweight. It's like, I don't know if he could beat these guys, but the answer is Usyk, right?
Okay.
I'm saying, like, there's some athletes in certain sports. In basketball, if the question has to do with basketball, the answer is Michael Jordan.
Right.
This ain't hard, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are acting like if the question is boxing, the answer is Boots.
Well,
now it comes time to find out the answer, bro.
I love Boots. I've never put Boots with them guys you just named.
You were acting like
I've never acted or act like he's Usyk or Bam or Terrence Crawford. I never did none of that.
But that's why. You know how you become Usyk or Bam or Terrence Crawford?
The reason why is because
Boots fights these other guys and still looks like Boots.
So that's the thing. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen him fight a top guy. I think if he fought Virgil and did what Boots does best, then okay, he's in that class.
Yes,
so we haven't seen it yet.
I'm glad you're in the club now.
But hold on. I love Boots, and I said that, but I need to see him beat them guys.
Right, good.
I think Boots, if you ask Boots right now, right, you get the little Philly slang, yo, what up, boy, how you? And you ask him, yo, do you feel like you're in this class from your resume? He gonna say no. But if you ask him talent-wise, yeah. So once we see him beat a guy like Xander, then we can talk about that.
Okay,
but
now let me
last thing next, if that happens, though, It ain't gonna matter, because none of them gonna beat my man that's 6'7".
Saturday, I was going to get to something else, but Saturday in Manchester, England, number 7 ranked heavyweight in the world, 21-year-old Moses Itauma fought wily veteran Jermaine Franklin. Itauma applied his usual aggressive southpaw boxing ability, maybe with a touch more patience than usual, flashing his celebrated hand speed throughout and his knockout power in the 5th, closing the show with a lightning uppercut. Shady, how do you like your boy?
Oh, yeah, he different. It's not even just the eye test. Like, everything we want to see from him, he gives you that. He can move, he can box, he's tough, he's quick, he's powerful. Only thing is, guys like him, if I haven't seen you go past the 8th round, 9th round, I don't know if it gets deep waters from a certain guy that moves around a little bit, how do you hold up? Because he looks good. I mean,
not his fault, but you don't know because he's taking everyone out early.
Man, he's special. Oh, my God, he's special.
Mike?
There's something about Moses, the way he carries himself. There's like an aura around him already where I just can't see many people beating this guy. I would be shocked if he didn't have a chin. Oh, that's a question mark, right? He hasn't been tested yet.
And heavyweight, even if you do have a chin,
That's
if
true.
you get hit on the butt by a 250-pounder, you're going.
Right, and those are always the 2 big question marks, right, Max, with heavyweights. How do they take a punch and how do they handle adversity? We don't know yet on Moses, but this guy checks all the boxes. He is special. I think he's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah, Moses has not lost a single round in his professional career. Gabe, here's what occurred to me, though, watching him. I want your take on this. Yeah. He's compared a lot to Mike Tyson for obvious reasons. Hand speed, punching power, aggression, and a phenom to start his career where it's like, wow, he's blowing these guys out, right? But Mike compensated for his lack of height and reach with upper body movement, peekaboo style. Really what peekaboo's about, customato, you did it with Floyd Patterson, did it with Mike Tyson, is you're squaring up a little bit more to the target, right? Because you want both hands available to you to punch in combination, right? And to counter as you're coming in. Slip the jab and counter off the other guy's jab, all that kind of stuff. The trade-off is you're more square to your target. So you compensate with constant upper body movement, right? That's not exactly Moses, who also has short arms, even though he's a lot taller than Mike. And to me, what became evident in the fight against Franklin is he needs to be part Mike Tyson, which he is naturally with the hand speed, and part my man Purnell. Because he's a southpaw who can compensate for the fact that he doesn't. It's not like he has short arms, but it's not like he's the longest armed heavyweight in the world against these really tall heavyweights who's going to have to kind of box in the pocket and control the fight as a southpaw boxer puncher.
For sure. For me, I would compare him more to a Michael Moore.
Yeah, but faster than Moore.
Yeah, faster than Moore, but
and bigger.
He's slick. He has that hand speed. You know, Mike Tyson was a destroyer.
Yeah.
So I can't compare no one to Mike Tyson, but Itauma, man, he just showed great boxing ability. That uppercut was beautiful. It was a good stoppage, you know, but I would like to see him continue to develop. You know, the talks of him and Usyk right now, I just feel like not yet.
Let's slow that down.
Not yet.
Let's slow
I don't
that
know.
down.
I'm not so sure.
Not yet.
Slow that thing down.
Why
Let's slow that down.
sure?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure, Max, because Moses shows us so many different aspects that are like levels beyond his years. I mean, the way he changes levels, literally, right? He likes to go southpaw jab upstairs, straight left to the body, the punch variety, varies the hand speed on his punches. I mean, he's a very mature fighter.
See, I think you two are having
One thing, Franklin wasn't really wasn't throwing anything back.
But why?
It was scary punches.
Yeah, but why exactly?
Shots, it was like, get away from me.
Usyk will be throwing back. But I think you two are having, in a way, two different conversations. I think what you're saying, Gabe, is you don't want to get Itauma beat.
Yeah.
Especially not comprehensively beaten yet. He needs a little more seasoning before you feel.
Yeah.
And what you're saying, Mike, it seems to me, and I agree with both points, is whether or not Itauma wins or loses, I want to see that fight.
Yes.
Because he might win, and because that's the most serious threat and the most interesting fight for Usyk, right? I think that's right. But I would say, like, and we have Filip Hrgović coming up on the show. I would say, like, is he ready for Hrgović? Does he need an in-between fight between now and Hrgović?
Yeah, you need.
And then a Hrgović, and if he wins that, maybe the winner of a Wardley Dubois, and if he wins that, Usyk, what are we talking about here?
Itauma needs rounds. He needs somebody that's not going to go out in under 6 rounds. He needs to test the waters on how does that 8-rounder feel, how does that 10-round feel. So I feel he does need to be tested. I would think a guy like Caballero will be a perfect matchup.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Well, if he's ready,
Caballero's nice.
He is, but if he's ready for Caballero right
ready.
now, who has said that he
That's
doesn't need
perfect.
Itauma, right, because he's in line for a title shot, I agree. I brought this up the other day. Why not fight each other and create a mandate for Usyk?
Great fight.
But Itauma said something like that about.
Khabib can be there to be hit, guys.
like-
What if it lasts 2-3 rounds and Itauma wins?
But he was saying like he's young right now, so he said something like that. He's young right now, and if he loses or something like that to one of them guys, he's okay because he's still young. Mike Tyson ain't thinking like that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
He's never been past 6, Itauma.
Right. So my thing is, Usyk, let's just slow down with him a little bit. I think sometimes we see something, we love it. Oh my God, he's the next. Yeah, but let him get there. Because I think if he fights Usyk, we're going to see a whole other fight. And then you know what's going to happen? We're going to get here. The fight's going to be on Saturday. We're going to get here on Monday. And I'm going to watch y'all two say,
Yeah, but
maybe he's not what we thought he was.
First of all, Usyk is 38 years old. He's not going to be there forever. He's
39 now.
39. He wants 3 more fights. If we want to see this, while Usyk is still really good and Itauma's already good. And here's the thing about Itauma. Another reason he's compared to Mike Tyson. And the guy actually who did this before him and Tyson was not Foreman. Foreman kind of snuck up on people even though he was a gold medalist. It was Joe Louis back in the day. When you had, it's the age. Remember, Tyson won the title before anyone else ever had. He's 20 years old. Itauma was so good at such a young age. People are wondering, can he do it? So the ticking clock here is Usyk's age. But it's also that Itauma's precocious. He, from a very young age, he looked like he could beat everybody up.
Right. And look, Shady, you're saying why are we all so excited to pump the brakes? I get what you're saying, but Max, to your point, there's a reason why we've been talking about Moses so much on this show, right? I know there's always these heavyweight hype jobs, but who's the less heavyweight we felt like this about? We didn't feel this way about Jared Anderson. We thought, okay, maybe he has something.
Not even Deontay.
No, not Deontay.
No, Deontay, and people thought highly of him. He was not fighting really good opposition. And then as he fought better opposition, he still knocked everyone out. But there was a certain way that, like Itauma, Mike Tyson didn't lose any rounds on his way up, right? And then when they put him in with veterans, he beat the hell out of them. And then he finally gets his shot at Trevor Berbick, who had beaten Pinklin Thomas, who was considered the heir apparent to Larry Holmes, and destroys him.
He beat an old-ass Muhammad Ali, though, right?
No, I'm talking about
Trevor Burke.
Yeah, but that's not how he got the title. He got the title by he got a belt. The recognized heavyweight champ was Larry Holmes, who lost to Michael Spinks, right? But there were a bunch of belts being passed around, and one of them, Pinklin Thomas had won. And Pinklin Thomas, out of Tim Witherspoon, Tony Tubbs, Tony Tucker, Pinklin, he was considered the guy maybe for a minute with the best shot to be the heir apparent to Larry Holmes. And Berbick upset Pinklin Thomas. Yeah. That's who Mike Tyson knocked out. But then Mike Tyson beat Pinklin Thomas, and he beat Tony Tucker, and he beat Tony Tubbs, and he beat all the other guys and beat them up once he got the title. But even before the title, he was beating everybody comprehensively the way Itauma's doing now, though Itauma has not yet fought that opposition, right? What's his ceiling? What's Itauma's ceiling?
I think his ceiling is all-time great. I think you can't really overhype him the way he looks right now. It doesn't matter what the opposition is. Franklin's a lot better than the other guys he had faced, and he had no issues whatsoever. He sliced through them.
What I would like to see, Gabe, get.
With me, there's a factor that Itauma's missing for me.
Sure.
It's like he's just not a mean dude.
He's pretty mean in the ring.
I get you, but I feel like I just feel like, the heavyweight division is just a different division, right? And guys they just have a different swag, a different character. They're just monsters.
Was Lennox, did you consider Lennox mean enough when you first saw him?
But he got me when he got knocked out by McCall.
But Gabe, what I'm saying is sometimes on this side of the pond, we hear the British accent. We hear the British accent. If someone is well-mannered with a British accent, in New York, in Philadelphia, we're like, man, he's not tough enough. But Lennox was always tough. He just didn't present as tough on the surface to certain American eyes, right?
But Lennox will swing on you at the press conference.
Yeah. I don't look at.
But I'm saying Moses looked pretty tough to me so far.
No. I'm not saying he's not tough. I'm just saying it's just I don't know how I have to see it.
I see what you're saying.
I have to see that grit.
Right.
And I have to see him be in a fight with a guy that's really going to challenge him, a guy that's not intimidated by the speed and the power. Yeah. Like I said, Franklin's a solid guy, never been stopped. But he was fighting scary.
Yeah, he's having
also real quick, when mediocrity comes up against overwhelming offense, and we have talked about this on the show before.
Yeah.
Mediocrity doesn't have anything to stave off the offense. They get steamrolled, right? That's why great offense in every sport is overrated. The greatest show on turf is going to beat the Patriots, right? Because they're steamrolling everyone. No one can stand up to the offense. You get a great, well-rounded team, they get upset.
Right, they lose.
Same thing. A guy like Itauma, a guy like Franklin's got nothing to stop the offense.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that there's not a great, well-rounded fighter out there, Usyk, right? Where a guy like Franklin may go more rounds, may sneak a win in a round or two, but because Usyk is well-rounded, it's not all about the offense.
And it's something I was talking to Gabe about in the back, and then we were talking about just like certain guys, man, that they knock you out so early that when they do have a time, they have to get to the 8th or 9th round. Like, that's tough for them. You don't know if the second win's coming. And he was like, there's sometimes when he was fighting, you said 10 rounds or 12 rounds.
When you're in that 8th round,
and he was like
getting fatigued.
Right, he's like, damn, can I make it to that point? And I think when you get a guy like Usyk in there, he knows that.
But I think there's beyond even an Usyk thing here, because this is what Muhammad Ali said about George Foreman.
That's right.
When you get a big puncher, this is what works against them.
Yeah.
Their own success works against them. They can't get rounds, even when you put them in with tough guys. But with Itauma, I have a different question than just Usyk in the long run in terms of his ceiling. Can he deal with guys like Jalalov? Can he deal? He's not, by this standard, the tallest heavyweight. He's not the longest reach heavyweight. Can he deal with a 6'7", 6'8", long, awkward, deep amateur career, power punching, good boxer type guy, right? Like that's going to be the question. Mike Tyson had to figure that out against taller heavyweights in his era. And Itauma's going to have to do the same. He's going to have to do the same. If he can beat the Jalalov types, this dude can make, 15, 20 title defenses eventually.
He's special. I just don't. When I remember Lennox was coming out, like, I thought I looked at him differently. I thought Lennox was even more special than Itauma. That's just me.
Yeah.
I mean,
after what Lennox did to Razor Ruddock that night,
man.
that was
Then he long, he boxing, I look at all that type of stuff. But I like Moses.
For those watching on YouTube, head over to the Zone to catch the rest of the show. Believe me, you want to catch this, because this dude who's been beating us in the head with Boots Ennis for like a year now is suddenly singing a new tune at 154 pounds.
I think he's a great fighter.
Number 4 ranked heavyweight contender, Filip Hrgović joins the show. This is Inside the Ring.